Yo, welcome to the Cosmic Paradox channel. Like, subscribe, and share. Greetings and welcome to the channel. I'm Cosmic Paradox and I help people to wake up spiritually, emotionally, and energetically by decoding the subconscious patterns, ancestral wounds, and hidden teachings that shape our reality. I don't do surface level healing. I go straight to the source. And sometimes that source happens to be your favorite Netflix show. And with that, I teach chosen ones how to decode their trauma as sacred instructions and alchemize it into liberation. Now, when I say chosen ones, I'm not speaking from a sense of superiority because there's quite a bit of struggle that comes along with that title and with that journey. I'm simply speaking to those who are awake and aware to the conditioning that they would like to have removed from their bloodline. So with that, we are getting into this particular video. If you've been watching this past week, we've been diving into the Animaniacs. The week before that, we did the Looney Tunes. We do a lot of decoding over here. Things that you think are just simple forms of entertainment are often layered with a lot more programming than we care to be aware of. So with that, understand cartoons breaking the fourth wall isn't just comedy, it's ancient trickster energy in disguise. And in this particular video, although we've been discussing the Animaniacs for the past week, the decoding movie we're looking at is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of the clearest blueprints of how chaos can free you or be erased forever. Now you might be wondering why Who Framed Roger Rabbit if we're talking about the Animaniacs. Well, this is the ultimate meta cartoon, live action blend full of fourth wall breaks, cartoon archetype psychology, and commentary on censorship, creative control, and corporate influence. If the Animaniacs was chaos with a wink, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is chaos on trial. So this is about, you're talking about a war over who gets to control your imagination. That was the underlying theme. Who gets to control your imagination? That's what Toon Town and the Toons represented. So you've got cartoons breaking the fourth wall, humans and toons sharing a world, and a villain literally dipping imagination into acid just to erase it from existence. This is not just cartoon fun. This is the Animaniacs energy taking to its shadow side. Now, in Roger Rabbit, you've got two worlds overlapping, the human city and Toon Town. And here's the esoteric key about it. Toon Town represents the astral plane, the dream realm, just like Looney Tune world, right? Now, the human world, that's your physical reality, structured, limited, and policed. The tombs, they can bend laws of physics, change form, and survive things that humans cannot because they are operating from a different frequency. It's the same dynamic in Animaniacs. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot disappearing into their water tower, then popping out to cause chaos. That's dimension hopping. That is moving between worlds, moving between the inner world of pure imagination and the outer world of rules and programming. Now, Roger is the fool, not the fool as in stupid, the fool as in the sacred initiator from tarot. Now, they would love for you to simply think that that is what the fool energy is: stupid, clown, senseless, not serving a purpose. That is done for a reason. That's the hijack. That's the okie doke. You can't ever fall for the okie doke. The fool doesn't play by the rules because the fool knows the rules are made up. So the fool is pure hearted chaos, same as Wacko from Animaniacs. That kind of unpredictable energy throws the authoritarian systems into panic because you cannot control someone who doesn't take the game seriously. They are actually a major threat to the structure. And that is why he is framed. So Roger Rabbit is framed. Understand frame, even when we're talking about psychological warfare and framing and how we frame narratives and the power in reframing. So the fool archetype threatens the system because it wakes other people up. So he woke Eddie up. If you've ever been punished just for being yourself, then you know exactly how Roger feels because that is the energy. Jessica Rabbit is the Venus Lilith archetype. She's the misunderstood feminine, demonized because she's magnetic, alluring, and impossible to fully own. Her line was, I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way. And that is a esoteric nugget because she's basically saying your perception of me is programmed. You've decided what I am before you even know me. Dot from the Animaniacs carries that same current, charm, and wit as both a weapon and a mirror. Mind you, now, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, we are talking about a more adult version, right? So the divine feminine in trickster form forces you to confront your projections. And we're definitely going to get deeper into that divine feminine in terms of Dot, because what you'll realize and what I plan to show you is the connection and the similarities between Sylvie from the Loki series and Dot in Animaniacs, because it is the same trickster energy. Then we got Judge Doom, the perfect embodiment of the authoritarian program. In the real world, doom is the part of society or your own mind that wants to scrub out anything too wild, too unpredictable, too you. And what's his weapon? The dip. The dip is like a spiritual death. It's the destruction of your imagination, the erasure of the inner child. Remember, they didn't know any way to actually unalive a tune until the Judge Doom came up with the dip, right? And it's the destruction of your imagination, the erasure of your inner child. It's what happens when you let shame, criticism, or authority convince you to stop creating, to stop playing, and to stop dreaming. In the Animaniacs, the equivalent was the network censors. They were always trying to come and tell them different things that they couldn't or shouldn't or wouldn't do. They were always trying to dip the Warner siblings, craziest bits. So Doom is censorship personified. They're the same role. Not to mention, he turns out to be a toon, which makes it even worse because you want to inflict this type of harm on your own, get rid of your own, get rid of where you come from. So that in itself is layered just as much, because the real plot, it wasn't really about a murder. It was, but it wasn't. It was about a corporate land grab, destroying Toon Town to build a freeway. So they want to destroy these original peoples, destroy what they come from, and take the land to utilize it for some capitalism, gentrification at its finest. So they wanted to get rid of Toontown to build a freeway. That's the war on imagination in esoteric terms, right? It's the mechanized world, the machine swallowing the organic, fluid, creative realm. And if we looking at it in this climate, we can compare that, as I said, to the one gentrification. This isn't just fiction. It mirrors the real life corporate takeover of culture in the late 80s and 90s. Same era the Animaniacs was satirizing or making their satire about itself in terms of talking about Hollywood. So there's that parallel between the two. So that's very much like a war on creativity, trying to take away creativity just as much. Now, in shadow work terms, tunes are your wild, untamed inner self. Doom is the internalized critic, parents, teachers, bosses, society. What's telling you to tone it down? Roger Rabbit and the likes of the Animaniacs are here to remind you your chaos is sacred. Your weirdness is your magic. And if you can laugh at the system, then you can break the system. Now, if you've been vibing with this breakdown, if you are on a Patreon, you're going to love what I have for you in our Shadow Work Babies tier. So I dropped the shadow work prompts worksheet or activity to help you to find your own judge doom and to break that control. And if you are in the higher tier, we're going deep into the Toon Realm, the archetypes, the astral territories, and how chaos magic hides in plain sight in media like this. So be sure to check into that on the Patreon as well. So I'm Cosmic Paradox, decoding media to free your mind, one frame at a time. So I'll see you in the next one. So make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, and be sure to turn those notifications on so that you will be notified when that next video comes so you can catch the next drop discussing the Animaniacs for this week's theme. Peace.